Okay, well, hi everyone, and thank you everyone for watching around the world or listening. It's Liam Hartree here today with another episode of Simply Inspired, and today I am joined by the remarkable yoga teacher Ankit. Today I'm reaching from Cyprus to Dubai. This man is doing some incredible work, touching a lot of lives and helping a lot of people. He has over 14 years of personal yoga experience, several years as a teacher as well. It says 4 years on your LinkedIn, maybe a bit longer. He is also the what should we call it? The custodian, shall we say, of an ancient Himalayan lineage. Influenced by that, he is the founder of Fit Family Live, I believe. So we'll find out more about that later. But more importantly than these accolades, today we'll be finding out a bit more about how yoga and meditation, mindfulness, breath works, these type of topics can help you, the viewers and the listeners in your daily lives. Because in the world that we live in, very busy, very fast paced, so we need time to be peaceful and to increase our self awareness. Now, Ankit, my friend, thank you so much for making the time for this today. And as I said just now before we started, it really is a pleasure and an honor. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Liam, for calling me here. And I'm here because you called me. So, namaste
wonderful.
to everyone. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, it's just a little bit of an overview, and also you're a gold medalist in yogic philosophy as well. I forgot to mention that. So for our viewers, anyway, my friend, getting to getting started with this. When you first became involved in yoga and meditation and these kind of things, a lot of people start this when they're very young. Some people started a bit later. But for you, when did you first become interested and aware of these practices, these spiritual practices, please? Let's start there.
So, actually, I started when I joined my school. When I completed my primary school, then I got a chance to enter into a high school where I first started my yoga at the age of it was 12 years. In India, what is the system? First, we pass the primary school till the age of 10 or 11. Then you go to the secondary school. So I got the admission in sixth class in a government school in India. So there was a teacher called as the Sova Nigam. So she was the disciple of one of the great yogi in India called as the Swami Dhirendra Brahmachari. He is one of the famous yogi from India. So she is the direct disciple of him. So first time she introduced me yoga there. Like she used to teach yoga in the class. So once I also got the chance to attend the class and I liked it. And then teacher told me that if you will practice this and that, then you will get the opportunity to represent our school in the national and international competition. So that time I was not into the spiritual practices like mindfulness, meditation, and breath work. I just attracted because of asanas, because it looks good, because when you're flexible, you're doing some kind of stuff. So I got attracted towards it. So I practiced till my 12th class. I was practicing in the school, and it took me 3 to 4 years to get mastery over the asanas. And then I played my national and international competition first time in my 10th standard. And then I got many gold medals and also at international level gold medal, national gold medal. And then I entered, like you know about the COVID, when COVID came around 2020. So that time I got the time to practice more. So before I was practicing yoga, but only asanas. And more I was into the astrophysics. I was interested in astrophysics. I was studying about physics, mathematics, and I wanted to become astrophysicist. So I was preparing also for the one of the engineering exam in India. But when during the COVID, when I got the chance to practice yoga more deeper, so during those days, I got some insights through the yoga practices. I was not knowing about yoga. I never wanted to become yoga teacher, and I never thought that I will practice meditation, pranayama. But that time, I just started practicing yoga because I was not having anything to do. So I just started practicing daily 2 hours, 3 hours. So practicing month, 2 months, I got some insight like how what pranayama can do, what meditation can do. I haven't learned meditation from anywhere. I haven't read in the book. I was just doing whatever I've heard from the people, like just sitting and closing the eyes and trying to go with it. So Daily night, I used to sit on my bed and I used to think about meditation. I was not knowing how to practice. Also about asanas, asanas I was knowing. So asanas daily I was doing. Then little bit pranayama, few basic pranayama techniques. But after practicing it 1 and 2 months, I got really interested in those things. Like I got some insight like what it can be, what how I can go more deeper into it. So that's why I started investigating about it. So that time was the time when I first entered into the path of Vipassana. So Vipassana is a meditation technique taught by Buddha, the Gautama the Buddha. So that I learned from the famous master in India called as the Master Goenka. So from there I learned the Vipassana meditation, and that time I realized the depth of meditation. And from that day I decided that I will always follow the path of yoga. And then I also took the admission in yoga college called as Kaivalya Dham. It is one of the ancient institute in yoga, and I got my bachelor's degree from there. So I started from there actually.
Wonderful. Well, that's how the story begins for you. It's incredible because for anyone listening to this who is maybe curious to know more or they're just beginning their practice, it shows the levels that you went through. And as they say, it didn't happen overnight, it didn't happen quickly, it took a long time to build. I love that. Wonderful description. Thank you. And to touch on a little bit more, or to go a little bit deeper into the meditation side of things. Can you share with us a little bit more about how your life began to change? Because in a moment, we'll talk more about how you teach and everything. We'll come to that.
Mhm.
But I'm just focusing on your own experiences personally, just for a moment. Because when you were talking then, I could see even in your eyes and in your face the power of that experience or those experiences that you had. I mean, in a good way. So I'd like to go a bit deeper into how your life started to change not just in the yoga practices, but in other areas of awareness in day-to-day
Yeah.
life, if you know what I mean with this. Thank you.
I understood. Yeah. So like I already told you that I was in the astrophysics, so there is like too much study.
Mm.
I was keep on studying all the time because a lot of syllabus we were having math, physics, chemistry, this and that. So during the before the COVID, I was studying that, and I was preparing for my examination in the IIT exam, IIT college. So all the time I was studying, I was not even having a time for myself, like no play, nothing, only studying, sleeping, eating. That's it. So after doing the same thing for 2 years continuously, the thought came in my mind like what I'm doing all the time. Sometimes I'm in stressed, sometimes having headache and all. Many times I used to get fever and all. So I was also doing yoga asanas only, but I have I have heard from my teacher that if you practice yoga and this pranayama, you will not get any disease, you will not have stress. But I thought I'm still doing, but nothing is happening. So then I started watching some videos on YouTube and I also read few books. So that time I got the book called Bhagavad Gita. I also bought some books from one of the famous institute of yoga in India called as the Bihar School of Yoga. It is one of the most authentic tradition in India. So I got some books from there and also watched some videos on YouTube. Like many spiritual teachers are there, like Sadhguru, Krishnamurti also. So I started watching their videos, understanding their the principles of yoga. So then I got to realize that what I'm doing that is not yoga. That is just like a kindergarten practice. If you want to understand yoga, asanas are just a 1% thing. More important thing is pranayama. More important thing is dharanas, the concentration technique. More important thing is the meditation technique. But I was not into that. I don't know how to practice meditation. So as I told you, I first entered into the Vipassana path. So once one day I was checking on YouTube about meditation, as like I was just calling what is meditation. Then I got the name Vipassana. I never heard the word Vipassana. I was not knowing what is Vipassana. But just by hearing the word, by seeing the word Vipassana, I got attracted to it. Like I wanted to know what it is. I just checked on Google and I got to know that there is a course of Vipassana taught by Buddha that you can learn still right now. So in 2021, I enrolled for a Vipassana course to the place called as the Kushinagar. It is in UP, Uttar Pradesh in India. So that is a place where Buddha took Samadhi. Buddha got enlightened in the Bodh Gaya and I born in Bodh Gaya. So I born in Bodh Gaya where Buddha took enlightenment and I learned my first initiation of meditation where Buddha took Samadhi. It is called Kushinagar. So there I went for the course and I did 11 days a deep meditation course. The course was like that. You have to be in the ashram, no mobile phone, no talking, only you have to eat in the day, no night food, no dinner, and you can't see anybody. You will have a separate room. So for 11 days, I was out of this world, like like a monk. You're living like a monk, nothing else, but just meditating. Daily, we were doing the meditation like 12 or 13 hours. You're walking, you're sleeping all the time, you're meditating. That time I got to realize that meditation is not something that you have to practice, it's a lifestyle. So like when you're doing meditation, daily you're sitting 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, that is helping us to be meditative throughout the day. So because of that practice, I got the insight of meditation. Like if I will meditate, I will not have any problem. So during that meditation course only, I felt a lot of change. My like stress from that day, I never felt like I'm stressed, never headache. I never, I can't even know like what is headache now. I used to be 3, 4 years, but after that, also the disease, whatever I was having, everything got cured only due to meditation, nothing else. And I feel a deep relax. And after that, a lot of things changed. Like I was even like I can say I was too much introvert. I can't even talk to somebody. But after doing practices, now I got little open, understood that how I can talk and how I can be with people. I balanced myself. And in the reality, as I learned in the Bhagavad Gita, yoga is all about balance. They call it Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Also about my like studies that time when I enrolled for the college. So before what happened, I used to study only for competition. Like I have to become perfect, I have to be first in the class and all. But when I entered into the yoga, I started learning what I can apply on me. Like pranayama I'm studying, then I'm practicing also. Asana I'm studying, I'm practicing also. Meditation I'm studying, I'm practicing also. So that helped me a lot. Like after that, I never felt like study is difficult. I read a lot of scriptures like Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, many yoga texts, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and a lot. But those things I never thought like I'm studying. I thought that I'm just trying to connect myself. Like I'm telling these things to my soul, myself. I study like that. So that helped me a lot. Even in my university, I got gold medal, but it's not like I was studying too much. I was just whatever I understood, whatever I practiced, I was just applying those techniques in my examination, in my interviews, in my bio and all. So just I was sharing those insights, and that is the real knowledge actually. So yoga helped me to connect my life with the real knowledge. Like before, what I was studying, it was a theory. My goal was always to understand why this everything is here, why this universe came, why we are here. That's why I wanted to learn the astrophysics. I was great fan of Stephen Hawking's Einstein. So I was reading their books. I read a book called as the Theory of Everything. It's on thermodynamics principle. So that books wants to tell that there is something which can solve all the questions. There is some theory. It is a theory of energy actually. Thermodynamics is all about energy. But when I read Bhagavad Gita, they told that everything is within you. Whatever you're searching, whatever you want to know, you can know just by knowing yourself because you are the part and parcel of this cosmos and universe. So that time I understood there's something the scriptures is having, I should understand. Then I read Upanishad. Upanishads are traditional books, scripture in India. So that I read, I understood about a lot of things like gravity, atoms, electrons, everything is there already. I read the philosophy, nine Indian philosophy. I read all the philosophy. And I understood each and everything from that. Whatever science I was trying to understand, it's already there. And they just tell that you have to understand yourself. And all the philosophy was talking about one thing only, that you have to remove your suffering. Well, because we know that we are suffering. Everybody is suffering. Nobody can deny it. You are rich, you are poor, you are whatever you are conditioning. Everybody suffers in this life. And all the yoga texts, all the philosophy texts, Upanishad talks about removal of suffering. So that's why I started investigating more deeper how we can get that, how we can practice that. So just I started my journey with Vipassana, then I learned different types of meditation because I don't want to limit myself. I want to experience what is more deeper and deeper. So I learned TM meditation, one of the famous meditation in India and also outside. I learned the mantra meditation, tantra practices, kundalini practices, pranayama, traditional yoga practices, and then I reached towards the path called Kriya Yoga. Like Kriya Yoga is a path introduced by Paramahansa Yogananda. If you know the name, you haven't have you seen the book Autobiography of a Yogi, one of the most famous book. So that book I got, and I read that book, and I got the right, like I got the thought that this is the perfect thing for me. I was searching here, there a lot I did. I first started with Sadhguru. I was watching his videos a lot. I was doing his practices. Then slowly I went towards Osho. Osho have Osho is having great influence in my life. Because of his thoughts and ideas only, I entered deep into the meditation. Then I got to know about Krishnamurti, and Krishnamurti is like love and purity. He purified me. Like, how was my thinking? It changed totally. So whatever I am speaking right now and whatever I tell to anybody, like somewhere Krishnamurti is behind me. Like he is guiding me in all the things. Whatever my thinking is, I'm influenced by him little bit. And then I also read about Paramahansa Yogananda, the last master I received. So then I got the path Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga is like, if you want to learn Kriya Yoga, you need a lot of discipline and dedication. It's like first you will get 9 months preparation time. They will give you some lessons on preparation, how you can prepare your body and the mind for Kriya Yoga. So I did that. Strict rule is there, too much discipline you have to follow. So 9 months continuously I did that. And then I got the chance to receive the initiation from a master in Kriya Yoga. And I got that. And now I'm practicing. So that was my last meditation technique. Not meditation is like whole yoga, the essence of all yoga. I got that in the form of Kriya Yoga by Paramahansa Yogananda. So that was the life-changing thing for me. And now I don't want like learn more things. That is enough. That contains the essence of everything. So this was my journey from yoga to meditation.
Wow. Well, I must say, first of all, a beautiful description of the story because I heard you say, amongst all of that, that you used to be more quiet and more shy and everything. So the way you're speaking about this now and sharing this publicly with people, first of all, is a wonderful thing and you do very well. And I was fascinated by this process for a number of reasons. First of all, you give the true meaning behind the yoga. Whereas, as you know, in a lot of parts of the world, it's very commercial now. It's very much about to making money and it's not about the true meaning. So I really like the fact that you've taken that back to like the root, where it actually comes from. Some great books that you mentioned. I've read some of those. So it really is a wonderful description. That's not a question for you. I'm just saying that for anybody who's on the path, whether they're further back, whether they're further forward, it really helps them. And I wanted to ask you that because I can feel that from your energy. Your energy glows. I mean, I know you're wearing white there, but you can actually feel this. And not everyone will be sensitive enough to notice that, but I do feel it personally. And also, the last thing, just to say for our audience as well, I'm really glad that you mentioned there, my friend, the science and the spirituality are actually connected because so many people think that these things are enemies when actually they are not. They are best friends and they say the same thing from different sides. And you mentioned Stephen Hawking, some of these guys. So really, really wonderful wisdom. Now, as we move forward in your journey, obviously you mentioned there about what you now teach and what you now share with the world and the impact that you have on people's lives. And I suppose the best way I can put this across to you as a question is when you see people developing and changing their lives, whether it's on any level, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all at the levels of people, but you see them improving and coming to realizations. And to be clear, I don't mean improving like what you were saying earlier, where you win something. I mean, the inside and the true meaning of this. Obviously, it's good for fitness. We'll come to that, but more on the spiritual side. How do you feel when you've helped someone and you have contributed to someone's life? And I know they have to do the work, but at the same time, you're guiding them step by step and you see the positive change. What does that mean to you personally inside of you, if that makes sense?
Yeah, actually, like when I started practicing yoga, like I don't want to become a teacher. I was not even knowing that by practicing yoga meditation, I will become a teacher. I was not even knowing that there is yoga teacher who will go and teach to others. I was not knowing. But when I was practicing, then our master used to tell us that only by serving the people you can fulfill whatever you learned from me. So whatever I'm receiving from my master, if I want to give him back, I can't give anything. No money, nothing, no service. Only one thing he told, whatever I taught you, just share with everybody. So that he used to tell. Like then only you can get relief from that karma, whatever your guru has given you. So I was not into the teaching field, but when I started teaching, learning more and more deeper, so I used to teach to my friends also, many of my school friends, and I used to go in the park. So that time I used to see people are practicing yoga, so I used to also practice with them. And slowly being with them, they got to know that I know about yoga, many things, pranayama, meditation. So they started learning from me. And after teaching 1 month, 2 months, I understood that whatever I have understood, whatever learned, that can heal a lot of things, a lot of disease, stress, and many things can be healed just by practicing few asana. I'm not talking about even the pranayama, only asanas. People having psychosomatic disorder, people having lifestyle disorders, having some normal disease um, sugar level, BP, heart disease can be healed easily. So I thought, why we should not work on that? So one of my friend was with me that time. He is also a yoga teacher. So we started a small group of yoga where we started teaching the yoga. So in the starting, we don't used to charge. Actually, it was free. So we used to teach in the park and around the park. So in a group, everybody used to come and we used to teach. So I got the interest that I have to learn it more deeper. Because if I want to teach, I must understand about anatomy of a person, physiology, how the mind works and everything. So because of that, I enrolled for the course, the yoga philosophy course. It was 3 year program. So I enrolled for that. And then I got the chance to be in the ashram, the real yoga place where I learned, dedicated my 3 lives for yoga only, 3 years of my life. And there I learned everything about the psychology, about anatomy, physiology, therapy, yoga philosophy, each and everything I learned. And then I started teaching more depth, deeper. So since I started teaching yoga, I have changed a lot of people, not only the physical, mentally also. Many people become spiritual also. My goal is always because when I used to read the books of Bihar School of Yoga, so they always mention this thing that whenever you're teaching yoga, the goal should be one only to make them spiritual. You start with disease to heal a disease, but keep adding some insights of the real depth of yoga. So I'm in this, even I'm whatever I'm teaching, I'm healing somebody, I'm giving therapy, I'm giving asana class, I'm even giving power yoga, the modern type of styles. But in between, I keep on putting something, the essence of yoga, like the definitions of yoga, I keep on telling. Like in Patanjali, it is told that yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, that stopping the fluctuations of mind is yoga. So this thing I keep on adding that what you are doing, it is not yoga, this is yoga. So sometimes they get like, they ask me, what is that? Can you tell me more? So many times it happened that they don't never wanted to practice meditation and pranayama, but doing with me 2 years, 1 years, many people entered to the meditation part. Many people started doing pranayama. And now I know many students, they started learning also about meditation. They want to become now a meditation teacher like that. So I seen people like from the level they were that time, they were just more into the body, more about physical parts only. So from there, they healed themselves like any disease or whatever they were having, whatever their goal was. And they started coming into the path of spirituality. And spirituality is not about like any religion and not. Spirituality is something like you are working on the self. So each of us are actually on the same path. The paths are different, but we are going the same direction. Maybe somebody is doing gym, somebody doing exercise, somebody doing yoga, somebody doing pranayama meditation, but they are just trying to become healthy, happier. So why not yoga? Because yoga can give you the same thing in short duration. So we can say that like every path, whatever you're doing, yoga is like shortcut. You're on a bullet train. Many people are walking on the same path. They all want to evolve more, to develop their mind more, to be more calm, peaceful. So they try different techniques. Somebody thinks by earning money I can become like that. Somebody thinks by doing some exercise I will become like that. And we think that by doing yoga I can become like that. So It's not about like I'm not telling anybody you should do, you must do. But if you want to go in the most accelerated way, you must apply yoga teachings. Like we all are evolving, we all are in the path of evolution. So evolution is simple, like we are evolving our mind to the higher. That's why we are different. Like my thinking is different, somebody else thinking is different. But when you enter into the path of yoga, this evolution start more deeper level. So within us, we will see within 2 years, 3 years, your mind will grow more. You will understand more about yourself, about your surrounding. It will become more mature. So that is because of yoga and the path, meditation path. So that I seen in a lot of people, and I felt good that by just giving few things, they changed a lot. So that I like.
Wonderful, wonderful description. I mean, as I've already said, my friend, as you're talking, the descriptions are very vivid, if you know what I mean, very real. I feel like sometimes you're describing things and I'm there myself, even though you're talking about it, if that makes sense. It's very good description. And yes, what you say about being on the path, I love that because this is why I just say to people myself, I speak to people from all different backgrounds, all different faiths, all different practices. That's why I always say spirituality is awareness. The more awareness you have, in very simple terms, because people get caught up in the dogma and the differences between things. As you know, it's not about that. Increasing our self-awareness and things come from that. Now, something to also to touch on here, which I think is a very interesting part of your life, and it's very relevant as well, because you made the decision to go to buy and to leave India and move there. And the reason that I mentioned this, obviously, it's allowed you to expand as a teacher and become more successful. But I find it interesting that you've gone to what is often regarded as a very busy, sort of fast paced environment. People busy making money and they have a lot of things to do. Was that decision because perhaps people there, and by the way, nothing against Dubai, it's a great place. I'm just saying for your teachings, maybe it's a place where people really need it because of the type of lifestyle they live. Was that relevant in your decision to go there, or was there another reason for why you chose that place instead of another place, if you don't mind me to ask this?
Actually, the fact is that I have never thought I will come to Dubai. I was not even thinking that I am going to go outside of India. I'm going to teach yoga. When I was going to give my last examination, my semester end. So that time, what happened? One of my friend came from Vietnam. He was a yoga teacher there. So he told me that now you can start teaching yoga also. You are going to now finish your college. So just start teaching. So I told no, I don't want to start right now. I want to do more deeper course in yoga. Now I want to go for masters. So he told, okay, but if I will get any opportunity, I will let you know. So I was just thinking that night. And after just 2 days, I got a offer from Dubai. One of my friend offered me that please come to our studio in Dubai and can teach yoga, you can share your knowledge and this and that. So I checked about Dubai and I got to know that most of the Indians are here and the Asian peoples are here who value yoga, who respect yoga. And also yoga is too much popular in Dubai. Everybody wants to practice, everybody wants to do meditation and all. So also I was thinking that first I should teach in India, then I can go outside. But that time uh, I thought that if I'm getting this opportunity right now to meet with many different people, and Dubai is a place you will get everybody. You will get the Asian, European, Russian, everything. Everybody is here. So better to go Dubai where you can deal with a lot of people. You can you can guide a lot of people. You can help a lot of people around you. So I just came. I was not knowing that I was not in any plan that I should go here or there. It was just a luck. Like something was already planned and they called me, and then I thought I should go. So I came around it was 21st June when I was teaching yoga in India. And after 3 days, 24th June 2023, I came Dubai. That was my first day here. Until now, I'm here. It has been more than a year, and I am teaching here. A lot of people are now. They are my students. They are learning from me. A lot of people got a lot of change. So I felt good. That. something I did, and now I am like in path of yoga teaching only. That yes, I should teach. Now I'm sure that I will be teaching this. So many people get the benefit. And also for me, like for sustaining the life, you need to balance for everything between the material and the spiritual. So also you have to practice for the self. Also you have to help others. So both things should happen. Because our master used to tell Paramahansa Yogananda that spirituality is not about you are sitting in a cave and meditating all the time. It's about being in the world and working at the same time, but keeping your mind on the path which you're following. It can be your God, it can be something, whatever you tell. So that my master used to tell, and that influences me a lot. So you, if you can be a yogi in this material world, then nobody can beat you. You don't have to go to a cave in the Himalayas to meditate. Even you're in this world, you can balance yourself. You can be like a yogi, then it is enough. And even I was a great fan of Lord Krishna. Whatever he taught in the Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna is a king. He's a king, he is a friend, he's a warrior, he's a yogi, everything in one personality. He's a lover. He's not denying don't marry, he's not telling don't do this. Everything do but become a yogi. So that is the simplest path, I think. You don't have to like make somebody feel that he this is a yogi, so I am inferior than him. Somebody like wearing cloth, putting some fanciful cloth, a big beard and hair, and on they people think only he is a yogi. But it's not like that. Wherever you are, just be around you, and you will understand what is the yoga. Just be around you, like understand your value, what is within you, what you want from life. Because earning, earning and doing whatever we are doing in this world is important, but the main goal is not that because everybody doing the same thing, but nobody's happy, nobody's satisfied, content. But whatever scriptures telling that how you can remove all the suffering, like whatever Buddha told, the path, the four noble truth, that there is suffering, there is a cause of suffering, there is removal of suffering, and there is a path of suffering. Same is told in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali told the same thing. So after understanding this insight, after reading this in the scriptures, after hearing these thoughts from my masters, a lot of teachers, spiritual teachers, so why I should listen to those people, these material people who don't even know about the single thing about their life? So that's why I decided like whatever they have told, it's true. Some people think that there is nothing like that. There is no eternity. There is no beyond the mind, beyond the body. But as per the testimonials, like we follow somebody. We can't directly deny it. We have to practice it. We have to apply it. It's not about like uh, blind belief. You try it first and then you can experience it. So I always keep on trying. Whatever they say, I try to apply. And also give other people those techniques so they can apply. So that's why everything is going smooth. I'm smooth, life is smooth. But also I've seen the people, they're only on the yoga and then some problem comes, then they are not able to stand on that problem. So better to balance the life in both the path and go smoothly. That is
Absolutely.
my thinking.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, everything you said there. I mean, what I like about this, my friend, as you're speaking, there's so many lessons in what you're saying because there's the big lessons about the practices, but there's even small things that you say, like even what you said there of basically be careful who you learn from, make sure that they are genuinely doing this. It's such an important thing. I mean, part of the reason why I wanted to speak with you is because of this reason, because you're a spiritual person, like what you said earlier, but you are in the world, you are doing things, you are impacting on people, you are helping people, you're not in your cave. And because, as I already said earlier, you have the feeling, so um, some people, it depends on their level of awareness, but as I'm sitting with you now, I can feel the practice and obviously you'll know this more because I don't claim to be an expert about these things by any means. I'm just saying that you meet some people and you can tell from the feeling of them, they're not doing it for the right reasons. There's more ego, there's more other things, even if they claim to be something, I can tell with yourself there's a genuine feeling, so what you said there about you sit in someone's presence, you can tell it's a very valuable lesson because in this day and age, with the internet and everything, there's so many opinions. People go on something, there's so many things hitting you. So I actually think it's a really good lesson of like knowing who to trust and everything. So I just wanted to sort of highlight that for people listening, so I don't forget about it. Actually, because we'll go into some other things. The Fit Family Live that it says about on your LinkedIn when I found you, that you are the founder of this. I know we've touched on a few different aspects, but I'd like to go a little bit deeper into what that means and what you do. We can talk about that briefly, and then I have a couple of other questions about practices, and that is all. But I'd like to give a mention to this because it's obviously very important to you. But to be honest, I don't know much about it, so please share with myself and our audience about what you do with the Fit Family Live. Is that the name of your yoga business, or is that some
Um,
separate to to the yoga? Please.
Actually, it's a startup in India. Me and my friend, his name is Aditya. So we started a program in India, in Delhi, that we have seen that problem that yoga is not that much popular among the normal people, in the family members. People practice. A lot of people are practicing yoga, but as we have seen around, like even in my family, many people don't do. My parents don't do. My friends' family don't do. So we wanted to impact those families. So we brought a program where we will influence the people. So we plan that we will give the yoga session, few counseling session in societies, because there is a lack of yoga studios, lack of yoga teachers. Many teachers are there; they are having a lack of knowledge. Because nowadays, what is happening? You are doing 200-hour TTC, you are becoming yoga teacher, and that is not good. Even I have did yoga for more than 14 years, but I can't say I'm a perfect teacher. I'm not saying that I'm a yoga teacher, I'm perfect too. Nothing. I have to learn more and more. So this problem is a lot in India, people having less qualification, they are teaching yoga, and they are not able to deliver the real essence of yoga. They are diluting, you can say they're diluting the yoga. So that's why we think that we first need the teacher, the good teacher, who really know the real essence of yoga, who did their master degree, who did their PhD from a authentic institute. They understand the real essence of yoga. Then they can deliver the real knowledge among the people. If people think just movements are yoga, you're doing stretching, bending, these things are yoga. They sometimes they think the little pranayama is yoga, but they don't understand that yoga can do everything, whatever you want. Yoga can heal you, I can guide you, I can make you free from all the problems. So that's why we started this, and we try to target the people around the societies. Like in societies, if we will provide yoga, so we need a yoga teacher. One yoga teacher can cater a lot of people in one society. So there are societies in Delhi. So there we can send one yoga teacher, a trained yoga teacher, and they can teach yoga in their clubs and wherever they get the place. And that is like very affordable. Like in India, if you want a yoga teacher, hire a yoga teacher, it will cost you around 1,000 rupees per month for 20 classes. So that is some people are unable to pay that. So we make this program that in that you only have to pay one-fourth of that, and you will get a good yoga teacher in your society, and you can enjoy the classes. So we are still working on that. And another thing is that I was also having another studio in India, in Delhi, and that was on the name of Yoga Drishti. So there I was teaching, I was having a lot of students. So we used to teach first, like we were training the younger students around 10, 12, 15 years, 13 years. And we were making them their base in yoga. If right now we will make the base in yoga, so later they can achieve good. So around 20 or 25 students I trained. Out of them right now, I think I can say 10 or 12 are in the path of yoga now. So even you are making one out of them, it's good. So that changed a lot, because if you will change the mindset of a child, it will be throughout the life. Because after that, difficult to make. But from childhood, if you are making their habit in yoga, you're telling them the real essence of yoga, they will must do. Even my brother is a yoga teacher. He's also doing yoga course in India. He's also living in ashram. So that helped a lot. So
Wonderful.
right now I'm teaching in Dubai. It is also it's not my own studio. I'm working with another studio. But it's good, like I'm helping people, I'm around the people who are on the same path. So that feel good.
Absolutely. Well, yes. I mean, as we talked about earlier, service, being of service to people, I think, is the most rewarding thing in life, as you said. And even when I make these talks, even though it's a small thing, I still consider it to be an act of service because if people listen to this and they think about something a little bit differently, if they think, okay, I've never thought about it from that point of view, it starts to open a little bit and maybe people start to change, and that is service as well. So it's a wonderful work you're doing, very very powerful. I wanted to give a mention to that. Now we'll go slightly over the time that I said, but a couple of other things I wanted to ask you that I really think are of relevance to people. Now these are a little bit more specific than what we've said because we've been talking about your life, and I know that if people want to learn from you, they should come and see you. So I'm putting that in there for anybody listening. If you want to learn from Ankit, reach out to him, contact him. We'll talk about that later, I'm just saying. But I do want to ask your advice on one or two things about how yoga can help people. And just to give this the context, that's all I'm doing, is that I know it can help people with everything. So there's too many things that I can ask you. We wouldn't have time for them all. But in the country that I come from, in the UK, there's like an epidemic at the moment of, I don't mean a virus, I mean an epidemic of people with their mental health. So people with stress, with um, being too busy, a lot of people, they're working too much, they're drinking alcohol, they're using drugs and things to keep going longer than they should, and so on and so forth. And obviously, over time, it affects this. And it's something I feel very strongly about. And I know that I could ask you about happiness, about self love, about physical fitness. I mean, so many things. But I thought, okay, I'm just going to pick a couple of things. And if people want to know more, they speak to you directly. But in terms of your advice for people who are struggling with these kind of issues like depression or something like this, I would like to talk about that because people struggle with the physical fitness in the modern age, as you said, people eating too much, they're not healthy. But a lot of people now struggling with the mind because of, I think because of everything, too many things to do. What would your advice be for anyone who is struggling with that kind of thing specifically, please, my friend? Because it's something I'm very
So,
passionate about. Thank
so
you.
like I already told you that yoga can work a lot on the mind. So I want to mention the thing that if you will read the Yoga Sutra, they're not telling about asanas. They're not telling you should do this asana, that asana. They're just telling yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That stopping the fluctuations of mind is yoga. And all the problems they tells that all the problems comes because of the mind. Due to vritti, due to fluctuations. Our mind keeps on creating thought. And if you're unable to balance the thought, disease will come to you. Because as per the yoga, we are psychosomatic. Whatever happens in the mind comes to the body. Whatever is happening in the body comes to mind. And in Tantra, it is told that body, mind, and breath is the same composition, same energy. Only the breath is the balance between the mind and the body. Body is more rigid form, mind is a concentrated form, and breath is the flow of energy. It's like that. So same energy. Tantra tells that you're made up of the same energy. Body, mind, breath, everything is same. Body is gross, breath is subtler, and mind is more subtle. You can say like that. So whatever, even you're doing asanas practice, it can help in the psychosomatic disorder. I'm not telling only depression, stress. Psychosomatic mean whatever happening in the mind, it can be because of the body or it can be because of the mind. But even you do asanas, it helps a lot because in these problems, mental disorder, you need more relaxation. You need utilization of energy. What happens if energies are not flowing properly? You will get the problem. And asanas are very important for that. If you're practicing asana, you're trying to release the knots at the physical, mental, and spiritual level, like energy level. So energy flow will be easier in the body. You will not have any problem because mind is a form of energy. Your thoughts are energy. So
Yes.
wherever energy is going, you are utilizing it, you are wasting it. Whatever you can do is for you. So yoga science tells about conservation of energy. So when you conserve energy and you give in the right direction towards the higher states, you know what chakras are there. So we send it to the higher chakra. You can simply say you send it to the higher dimension of the cell. You recharge your own brain. So that helps in this psychosomatic disorder. So you do asana, you do pranayama. So what happens? You activate parasympathetic nervous system. And once the parasympathetic is active, your body will feel relaxed. And that is difficult thing because nowadays we are more into the stress side. More we are producing cortisol. Cortisol like stress hormone. We are more sympathetic. And as per the nature, we are having two energies. One is sympathetic, one is parasympathetic. One is heating and one is cooling. One is active and one is passive. So the yoga practices are highly recommended for those people who energy are not balanced. Some people are more sympathetic, all the time lethargic, all the time sleeping. Some people are more parasympathetic. Some people are sympathetic. So for balancing this thing, we need yoga. If you're practicing yoga, both the energy will be balanced. Then only you can remove all the disease. So yoga actually working on the root cause. The root cause is mind. Mind creating the vritti, the fluctuation. And by the help of asana, by help of pranayama, you are trying to calm down yourself. You're trying to release the happy hormones, the calming chemicals in the body. So the same thing happening, you're practicing pranayama. So there are two types of pranayama. One is a vitalizing, it increases the energy. One is tranquilizing, it produces calming chemicals. And for both the both for balance of both the pranayama, there is one pranayama called as the anulom vilom, that is balancing pranayama. So between two pranayama, if you add anulom vilom pranayama, it balances both energies. And by balancing that, you can again activate parasympathetic nervous system. Once parasympathetic is active, you will not get stress. So this simple technique, you do simple breathing practice. I'm not telling too much thing, just in focus on the breath. By focusing on the breath, you can relax so much. But it need more deeper practice. It's not like people right now. Problem is that people don't believe. They think that it will not work. I did a lie. I checked with my doctors. I put a lot of money. So that can't help how yoga can help. Our simple breathing can help. But they forget that breathing influences everything. You become angry, breathing becomes faster. You become depressed, breathing becomes slow. You are active, right nostril activates. You are depressed, left activates. So they have to understand that right nostril, left nostril must balance that. If you balance it, you can understand the real depth of yoga. And Hatha Yoga principle tells about balancing both the nostril. Hatha Yoga is not having anything for only flexibility. Asanas are not only Hatha Yoga. As Hatha Yoga talks a lot of things, kriyas to cleanse the body. They talk about mudras, bandhas to conservation of energy. They give the concentration technique called as dharnas. And they tells that only for one goal we are practicing Hatha Yoga is to attain Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is a higher kind of yoga that is about how you can merge the mind and prana together, how you can merge your mind to the energy. That is the goal of Hatha Yoga. Once you reach that goal, now you can start meditation. Sometimes people are having this misconception that yoga means Hatha Yoga means because Hatha Yoga is more popular. Hatha Yoga is about twisting, turning, practicing asana, and little breathing. It's not about that. They directly tells in the scripture that Hatha Yoga is having one goal only to attain the Raja Yoga. Kevalam Raja Yogaya Hatha Vidya Upadishyate. This is one of the sloka in the Hatha Pradipka, the scripture written by Swatmara. So he's telling this. So we must understand this. If you understand the essence, then you will clear about your goal. If you're having misconception, yoga is this, that, then always you will have problem. So it's not about that you practice only few things. You just become yogic. You just apply few things of yoga. Only one asana can also help. If you're practicing one asana daily, it can help in the body as well as the mind, mental level. So people having stress, depression, anything, they can start simple body movement of yoga, simple asanas like the now name is Paschimottanasana, the forward fold asana. It helps the body to recharge. It sends the prana to the brain. So it gives a relief. It activates the parasympathetic. It creates the calming chemicals. It increases the neuron activity. It increases the level of dopamine. So even simple asana, I'm not giving too many an asana name. Any asana you practice, everything will come. Each and everything can be done only with one asana practice. You add pranayama, more deeper effect. You get the expansion of the mind. Your thinking will be get clear. You will have relaxed mind and the body because pranayama helps in removal of all the toxins from the body and the mind. You feel so fresh. For purification, pranayama is very important. Then you can start the sense control practices called as the pratyahara. They have given the techniques for that. You can do concentration techniques called as dharana. You can do mm, meditation practice after dharana. So,
Mm.
but starting is asana and pranayama that you should do. So that can help.
Thank you, because it is something, as I've said, I feel very sort of strongly, very passionate about this because I've seen so much of it. Now, very soon we will finish things because I'm sure you have things to do. I have only one more question for you, and then because as I mentioned, we've gone past the time that I said. The other thing that I wanted to ask you as a specific question, I must admit I'm partially asking this last one for myself because it's something I've also struggled with. But you know, people in this day and age, probably more than ever, they always feel that they have to do something more, they have to be something more. In other words, the concept of self-love, you know, people are looking for something outside when when they obtain that thing. And in my life, you know, I've achieved a lot of things, I must say, but at the same time, when it's only the things with the inner journey of our life that actually bring the satisfaction, not the fact you get something. And I've seen this contrast because you always need to do more and more. You know, it's like if the wind is blowing and you try to catch it, but then it's over here and you try to catch it, then it's over here, you try to catch it. And I've done a lot because I do a lot with the breathwork side, and I really enjoy that of obviously taking the ego out and all of these things. But I'm going through this process of trying to feel more um, complete, I guess. And I wouldn't usually mention this to somebody, especially in like a public talk, but I will mention it because I'm not the only one going through it. Many people go through this thing. And I've met people who do incredible things where they beat, like the Olympics is happening now. I meet people who get to like the Olympic level, you know, and sometimes they get there, but they don't feel like it's good enough, you know. Now, I'm not saying for people not to do that because, yes, go after your goals. But there must be,
Mhm.
when I meet spiritual people like yourself who've practiced for a long time, who've done a lot of the inner work, you are happy as you are, you know. I mean, I'm looking at you now and I've been talking with you this whole time and I'm thinking, man, you know, Ankit is happy with himself. You know, it doesn't have to be anything more. Like if you learn something more, it's a bonus, but it's not the most important thing. So I'm not sure if that's very clear, but for anyone who's struggling with that topic of like a self-love, as my final question for you, what would you say to those people around the world struggling with that, please?
Yeah. So, as I was saying about the yoga,
Mm.
so like if you're practicing yoga, so what happens? You don't have to think about this because yoga start with a discipline that tells that yoga anusasanam, that yoga is a discipline. And this discipline is not about like something imposed from the society, your parents told, your teachers told, nothing. This is a inbuilt discipline. It comes from within. And whatever comes from within, it will be always with you. So once you start the practice of yoga, what happens actually? You are getting more clarity about yourself. Like when we think about ourselves, we think, I'm Ankit, I am a teacher, I am this and that. But these are the positions imposed on me by somebody else. I am not that. And yoga helps in reveal your real personality. And once you understand the real personality of what I am, you will not give more importance to other things like my goal is this or that. Your goal will be more self purification, more self understanding, more self love. This is called the love actually. This is called the real selflessness that you are going towards the self. You're forgetting about other goals because it is not a thing that directly you can teach somebody. It's only yoga. You practice yoga, you will understand it. It's not something you can explain to somebody like you have to do this will happen. It's not like that. You're doing even asana, pranayama, what is happening? You're relaxing your mind, you're connecting more deeper and deeper. So, forgetting about each and every personalities you are carrying right now, you're trying to connect with the real personality of the self. And once you understand the real personality, you develop the self love, you develop the clarity, you develop the love, your containment, you're satisfied, everything will come to you. And even you will look at the science. So what science tells, like when you want to achieve something, what happens? Your mind start creating thought about it. It's like from the psychology. And due to the dopamine effect, you keep on thinking about it. I want that, I want that, I want that. So it becomes your habit. It is because of dopamine. But once you achieve that, now dopamine wants more because it's the habit of the mind. So dopamine will keep on forcing you. You want this, you want that, you earn money, then you have to hit more target, more target. So it's a dopamine effect. And yoga, it's called like ego, ego principle that you will ego will keep pushing you forward, 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 do this, do this, do this. But when once you enter into the yoga, you are controlling the dopamine. You're activating more deeper things. Dopamine is just on the uh, surface level, but you go deeper, you will get the insight from the cell. So you know the pituitary gland is behind the third eye. So
Yeah.
once you activate that gland, what happens that you create self-love for the self. You create the calmness, inner calmness will come to you. You don't have to depend on outside thing on. So you will think more about yourself, like how I can become more balanced. How can I create more calmness within? So those things will come to you automatically. So that is not a big problem. If you're more into this world only, so you will not understand. But once you just work little bit on yourself, not only by yoga, you can do just like some techniques to just relax yourself, just some techniques of mindfulness to just understand about the self. Just observe the body. That helps enough to understand more about yourself. Then even you're doing other things, you will do better than before and you will achieve more than that. It's not like you will not get, you will get more than that, but you will not be attached with that. And with attachment, it creates the problem. If you don't get, you will feel pain, suffering. But if you are not attached, that my goal is not that I have to get, but still you will get because you are in the path of yoga, you will do better than anybody else. Your mind is calm, you're relaxed. You can achieve that so easily. What needs 3 year, 4 year, you can do in 1 year. So that can be done yoga, and you will not attach with it. You will not get pain or suffering. And that is the definition of yoga actually. Samatvam yoga uchite, that being balanced is yoga. And also yoga, Bhagavad Gita tells that yoga karma sukhasalam. That being skillful in your action, that is called yoga. Your action are skillful, you are a yogi. Is whatever you're doing without the attachment, but you're doing perfectly. That is called yoga. That can be applied to everybody. Everybody, a teacher can become a good teacher, a student can become a good student by just following the law of karma yoga. Karma yoga means you're doing the action without attachment and you're getting more better result before. That is simple practice.
It makes a lot of sense. And first of all, I greatly appreciate you sharing that. I must say, on a personal level, I have learned a lot from this talk, by the way, because it's one of those things where I feel like when I was born, personally, I don't always get into these things. I've always felt the awareness, I've always felt the stillness inside of me, like I was born into the world, but the world is busier and more. Um, Other people don't always have the awareness of people that I have. So I have some things, but then in other things, and I'm trying to learn how to control it. But then in other things, like with the yoga, I mean, I'm just starting to learn about it. I don't claim to have the knowledge. I don't claim to have these things. I'm just on the path of figuring things out in life. And then as I learn things, I share it with other people, and it's simple like that. But so first of all, personally, I really appreciate it, and I don't always ask personal questions, but with you, I felt okay. Why not? Because you have this knowledge. But more importantly than me, for everyone else listening to this anywhere around the world, because when we put this out, I'll be promoting it everywhere. I really feel that you've shared so much wisdom with them. And I was going to say knowledge, but it's not knowledge because it's about practice. You've shown the wisdom to them, And I hope that especially for people who don't know about these things, people in the beginning, people who are living that kind of life where they're very involved with the mind and they don't really know the deeper awareness. I hope that it just starts to just open them up just a little bit to think, okay, maybe there's something else, maybe there's something more than this. And from where they decide to go from there is up to them. I feel that your life is your message, which is why we've spoken about your life, because people can learn from the experiences that you've had. But it's also nice that we've spoken about some bigger topics as well, in terms of not just you or me, but the bigger picture. So, my friend, I mean, it's been such an honor and such a pleasure. Before we finish, I must say as well that your social media or how people can contact you, because I know there will be some people listening to this who want to obviously meet you and
Mhm.
everything. That's part of the point. When I release it, I'll send it to you so you can use it as well. But how can people reach to you if they want to know more about what you do personally?
So, like they can message me on Instagram or maybe also on the WhatsApp. So I'm having an Instagram page, the Ankit Yogic Life. You can search on that at the rate Ankit Yogic Life, and there I can reply all the times. So you can message me, DM me, I can reply there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good to give that a mention, you see, because you are out there helping people. You're not in your cave, you're out in the world helping people so people can contact you. I mean, I'm joking, but it's a wonderful thing that people know that you're accessible to be reached. Obviously, I know it's obvious, but some people don't realize. And it's amazing because this talk, I mean, look at this. I actually have a cup of coffee here, which I have not drunk. It's gone cold in this time because I've just been listening to you so much, and it's so interesting, So I'm going to drink it anyway, but it's cold because it doesn't matter. I'm joking, but because I've been listening to you, there's so much that I've learned. So my friend, first of all, thank you so much for making the time to do this,
Thank you
and
so much for calling me.
it's my pleasure. And as you said, it's a form of service. I consider it's a different form, but a form of service. So thank you so much. And as I mentioned, when I release this, I will send to you so you can use for any
Sure.
business purposes, or I don't know, anything that you need. But thank you so much. And if I'm ever in Dubai, I'll be sure to contact you as well,
Yeah,
because
must meet me.
it's
You're
not.
coming to Dubai, then we'll meet.
Yes, absolutely. It would be lovely to meet in person. Thank you. You have a great day, and I'll be in touch with you very soon with this, and we'll go from there. Namaste, and thank you again, my friend. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Take care then. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.